Hi Flosstube! I'm back! So my name is Christina. I live here in Sweden, and this is my channel Journals and Stitches, where I talk about what I've been stitching on, what I plan to stitch, and also how I journal to keep track of everything I need to do. So today is going to be a bit different than how I usually do things. I usually do an intro where I kindly remember to say welcome to anyone who is new. Welcome back to anyone who is returning. Hi! And I also, when I remember to do so, ask you to do all the Flosstube and YouTubey things, like subscribe if you haven't already done so, and leave me a comment. That would be great. Thank you so much. So after that, I usually do stats and what's new, what I finished, and all that. But this particular episode of Flosstube will be going up on January 1st, so that means WIP Parade. So in this Flosstube, we're going to do things as such. I will show you all my projects. The sun is actually shining here in Sweden. It has been gray for so long. It's amazing. So we're going to make use of the sun. We're going to do a WIP Parade first. I'm going to go through all my projects. Please don't count. I might actually do that. But anyway, so I'm going to show you all my projects, make use of the gorgeous sun. Not that it's a lot of light anyway, but hey ho. And then after that, I'll do stats for a quick showing you of what I got done in December, or the stats for September that I can give you. And also then I will show you, I'll go through the stats for my entire year. What I finished, what I got done, total number of stitches that I've been able to count, and so on and so forth. After that, I will do, I'll show you my new journal for next year, how I got it set up, and my plans, very loose plans for next year. We'll see what I can actually manage to get done. And yeah, that'll be the end of the video. The next video will be out on February 1st. And yeah, so that's the outline of this video. So intro, done. WIP Parade, then we'll do stats, both for a very brief recap of December and then the entire year. New goals for next year and my journal for next year. Okay? Great. Everyone's on board. So let's do this in chronological order. I do have my project cards here, so I know what projects I have in what year. I have 2022 in front of me, so let's dive in. So I have 4 projects remaining from 2022. The first project I have, which I have unfortunately not touched this year, I can't recall that I have anyway, but the project is living in a Christmas themed bag. It is not a Christmas themed project, but it is this gorgeous project. It is titled Kakomu, and the artist behind it is the wonderful Margaret Morales, my favorite artist, or one of them. And the charting is done by Heaven and Earth Designs. It is done on a 25 count even weave. I know it's a printed fabric, and I know the same print is available in other colors. I just don't know what mine is. It's a gray. It is 570 stitches high by 425 stitches wide, giving a grand total of 242,250 stitches. I have done quite a bit on it. There are hanging threads. Please don't pay those any mind. I have about 2 pages on the top done, working my way over. I have the first 3 rows of 10 by 10 blocks completely finished on the top row. I love this project. It is done 1/1 full cross, except for the Krynic, which is done half cross, but I have now gotten petite treasure braids, so that should also be able to get in full cross. If not, I'll continue doing it half cross. This is what it looked like at the beginning of the year, in case I have worked on it and just can't remember. And this is what it looks like. So here you can kind of see like a fish coming in, and then you have another fish here, and yeah. It looks very watercolory, which is what I like. Margaret Morales is a watercolor artist. She does do a little bit of mixed media, but it's mainly watercolor, and I love her art. So that is that one. And this was started on the 1st of August, 2022. Next we have Gone to Pieces. This is from Long Dog Samplers. It is done on 18 count something. Beige. That's pretty much all I can say about it. This has, so this project is done full cross with various silks and black DMC. It is 256 stitches high by 170 stitches tall, giving a grand total, including backstitch, 36,960 stitches. It was started on the 28th of September 2022. I will have started this by showing you what it will look like. This is what it looked like at the beginning of the year. I have worked on this quite a bit, and this is what it is looking like now. No. Go down, go down, 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 down. So this is what it's looking like now. As we can see, I have 2 full puzzle pieces left to do. And then it's mainly just fill in of small bits and bobs here and there, like the various animals' eyes, of course, these snowflakes, glitter, I don't know what they are, but they need to be filled in. The stars need to be filled in, these need to be filled in. I think this tail, because I think this is supposed to be a peacock, so this needs to be filled in. These, the heart. I used, maybe I won't be able to show you, but I used some gold metallic for the crown because, of course. I need a color for this. And then here at the bottom, I need one colorway for this and one colorway for that. But I do have some chatelaine, so I'll probably take some silk from those and get these done. The smaller ones first, and then we'll see what I have left when I can, so I can get that one done. And this will be a finish. It's only full cross, okay? So, next we have, I'm very sorry, I have forgotten to open the zipper on this. There, it's done. Okay, so this project, shown here, is called Dark Queen of the Earth. It is done by the wonderful Autumn Lane Stitchery. It was a SAL during 2022 and 2023. I think it started in like the summer of 2022 and went for a year in 12 parts. I was waiting on fabric, which is why I didn't start. So the fabric is from the gorgeous Chromatic Alchemy. They are unfortunately not dyeing anymore. It is done on a 16 count opalescent Aida. I cannot find what this particular one is called. It's a green, it's sparkly, it's beautiful. The finished product is 261 stitches high by 183 stitches wide. It is not a full coverage, and I don't have this in Saga, so I don't know the total number of stitches, but it's big. She's a big lady. So yeah, I started this on the 12th of November 2022, and this is what it looked like at the beginning of the year. I did work on this because when I had decided to do temperature stitching, one of my projects wouldn't fit on the fabric, so I substituted this for that. And so this has gotten some love. And so this is what it looks like now. And I have, so this is done. This part is done. Down here is done. I think there's some back stitching coming in on the later part. So I'm working on, so I'm still doing this in parts. Maybe that's not the best way to do it, but oh well. So I'm working on the part here. Oh, this is so difficult to wrangle this fabric. Okay, so I'm doing this part down here, which it's not a mirror image of the opposite side. Each side is different. So I'm working on this part here, which will go up here a bit. And then I have a part where it is like this side, but different, of course. So that's also starting to go up. And then you have her body, her head, and then the whole vine, twig, tree thing goes all the way around up top. So I'm working down here, and I've gotten some progress done. None of this was here, I think, at the beginning of the year. So I've gotten a bit done, and I'll continue to work on this next year. Yep. Okay, we are back. Okay, so first project I started, well, this is technically the date that I restarted it. So the project I'm talking about is Epic Max Color Pokemon Gen 1. The charting is originally done by Lord Libidin in the Pokemon Stitchers group on Facebook. Someone was very kind enough to chart it as a max color. So this uses almost every DMC under the sun. I love it. It looks amazing. I'm so happy with it. And yeah, it is meant to one day be a gift for my husband or something for us to put on our wall as nerds. We are huge geeks / nerds. And it's a great stitch. It's a lot of fun. And this is what it'll look like eventually. And this is also called the extended version because the usual version you see is cropped. So a lot of the like heads and part of wings and whatnot are cut off. I like the look of the extended version. So my version is the one that extends out a bit. So you have more of a complete image. And I have worked on this a bit this year. Not a lot, unfortunately. But yeah. It is done on 25 count even weave white. I started doing this completely 1/1 full cross, and the Pokemon I will continue to do so with. However, the background will be done henceforth as 2/1 half cross, just to get the background done a bit faster. Because there's a lot of background in this. And this is what it looked like at the beginning of the year. And let's see, okay, so we'll do it. We're gonna ignore this because that's a different project that I have given up on. So ignore that. So this is what I have done so far. And as you can see, what I mean by extended version is, I think normally you see where Moltres head, no, that's Zapdos. So Zapdos head is barely in frame, and a lot of this is just cut off, along with like Moltres's wings here are gone. But to me, this looks more of a completed and thought out picture. Goddess of Coffee. Let's see, I think it's this bag. A police bag. Yes, okay. So, I do have a photo here, but I will put a photo here of what it will look like. This is called Goddess of Coffee. It is charted by Unconventional X Stitch. They are excellent. I highly recommend them. And the artist is Echo Charnik. This is done on, I think, 25 count even weave, or maybe 28. I haven't written it down, just that it's white even weave. Yeah, so it's white even weave. Didn't write it down. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so this chart is 799 stitches tall by 413 stitches wide. There is a part of this chart that isn't full coverage. She has some feathers that go up, and as it looks like there's a frame around it, except these feathers extend above the frame a bit. And so the feathers are charted, but the rest of the background is not. So we'll say it's full coverage and be pleasantly surprised. So this is 799 stitches tall by 413 stitches wide, giving a grand total of 329,987 stitches to do. It was started as of my advent calendar for 2023. This was started the 5th of December, 2023, and I think I worked on it a bit this year. I had started 1/1 full cross, and I have since converted to doing this 2/1 half cross, or 10 stitch, and this is where I've gotten to so far. This is a full complete page finish, and this is the next page on. And the reason it's so far from the top is because her feathers come up here above this bit of, like, as I say, frame. Wonderful charting. I totally messed up the first page of the pattern, but I think it's okay. You can't really tell. So we'll continue on. I'm not ripping that out, trying to get it to look exactly as charted when it's good enough as it is. Okay, next we have TMNT Mikey. This I did work on this year. This is what it'll look like. This is what it looked like at the beginning of the year. And this is done 1/1 full cross. I did try converting it to 2/1/2. It didn't look right, so we're keeping it to 1/1 full cross. And this is done on 28 count even weave. The pattern is from Dots and Spots Shop on Etsy, and this is 179 stitches wide by 150 stitches wide, not entirely full coverage. And this is 17,351 stitches total. And I started this on the 6th of December 2023. And this is where we've gotten to so far this year. The needle minder is from Cross Stitch Bunny. No. Yes, Cross Stitch Bunny. Yeah, that's right. This is where I've gotten to. Looks really good. And I don't think the pattern is called TMNT Mikey because it's all four in the same pattern. But because they're each different charts, I call this TMNT Mikey. Pattern we started that year that is still in my rotation is the opposite of Goddess of Coffee, the Goddess of Tea. Also charted by Unconventional X Stitch. Artist is Equichernik again. This is what it'll look like finished. And this is what it looked like at the beginning of the year. I don't think I worked on this year. In fact, I can tell you I have not. Because it is still entirely full cross. There is not a thread hanging off of this. And it's such a pitiful start. It's not even funny. Okay, so this is done again as the same of Goddess of Coffee on a 28 count even weave white non-gridded. It is 800 stitches tall by 402 stitches wide. This one is 321,600 stitches. Started on the 14th of December 2023, and this is all I have. I'll work on it eventually. It lives in a Japanese bag. The stitching is awful, but it's just for me. So, practice. Practice, practice, practice. That'll also eventually be converted when I work on it to 2/1/2 cross. Last pattern that I started that year for Advent. Living also in a Japanese inspired bag. Is titled Japan 2. I have not filled in my card properly for this one, so I should probably get to that. It is 187 stitches wide, tall by 200 stitches wide. I have not worked on this year at all. And I only have a very pitiful start with very light colors, so I don't know if you'll be able to see what I've gotten done. I started this on the 18th of December, 2023, and this is all I have. And of course, I will have shown you a picture of what it will look like eventually when I do finish it. But this is not full coverage. But yeah, 1/1 full cross. I'll probably stick to that. because of the lighter colors and whatnot. Just this is from okay, doesn't say. So as you can see, Japan too, the design. And yeah, doesn't say where I got it from, so I'll have to check my Etsy purchases for that. Okay, so 2024. Okay, not too many started that year left. So the first one I started that is at least still in my rotation is Diner Dreams. This is what it'll look like when finished. And I have worked on this year. So this is what it looked like at the beginning of the year. And here I have it. So this pattern is done on 25 count even weave, non-gridded. The pattern is called Diner Dreams, and it is charted by Contemporary Cross. Again, a great place to shop for full coverage that is maybe a bit different. The artist behind this piece is called Stefan Koidel, and this chart is 487 stitches tall by 380 stitches wide, giving a grand total of 185,060 stitches. It is a piece for my wonderful sister, and I started this on the 3rd of February 2024. The needle minder is from Caterpillar Designs or Cross Stitch or something like that. And I've gotten quite a ways done on this year. I've done quite a bit. So I've moved the top a good ways along. I've filled in this bit. So yeah. If I turn it double, you can see better, not all the way through. Oh, all these browns. There is so much black. But oh, isn't it amazing? It'll be great when finished. My sister really loved this piece. Next pattern started was exactly a month later. I started Nightingale from Mirabilia. It is on 28 count even weave, hand dyed by myself. I started this on the 3rd of March 2024. I have not worked on it this year, but this is what it'll look like finished. And just in case I just don't remember working on it, this is what it looked like at the beginning of the year. And okay, so I should be able to do this. Okay. And this is what I have done so far. Oh, okay. So this is the back end of the dress. And yeah. And this is where I think it'll start to go up and into like her body. It's been a while since I worked on this. I don't exactly remember everything, but yeah. Lots of beads to put into this, but that'll be a problem for later me. Yep. It's fun. Great fun to work on when I actually work on it. And yeah. The needle minder is a gift from last Essex Needles Retreat. Or the 2024 Needles Retreat. Essex Needles Retreat. Then we have my 2 chatelaines that I started in May, starting with the Japanese garden mandala, done on 28 count even weave in sage green. This pattern is 279 stitches tall by 279 stitches wide, so it's a full square. Started this on May 1st, 2024. And so this is the awful picture I can find online of what it will look like when finished. And this is what it looked like at the beginning of the year. I have worked on it a good deal this year. And I have pretty much the entire middle done, including beading, backstitch, you name it, it's done. So this is what the middle looks like. Isn't that gorgeous? All the beads. There is one bead missing, yes, but I'm not going to discuss that. Otherwise, the middle is finished. Next is the Japanese Zen Moss Garden mandala from Chatelaine, again on 28 count, sage green, even weave. This one is for me. I'm stitching this for myself. This, again, is the best available picture I can find online, and this is what it looks like at the beginning of the year. I have stitched only a wee little bit on it, I think. Not a lot. Middle is done except for beading. And I've started on the, so either side has a different, like, sand pattern, or maybe it's the same, but it's a sand garden. And so I've started on this one at the bottom. And that's it. And then second to last pattern I started was, it's called 80s Movie Night. It is a pattern from Atomic Tiki Pins. I think it was a SAL at one point. I have not worked on it this year. Unfortunately, it's a lot of fun to stitch. But this is what it'll look like, kind of, finished. And so it's a kind of choose your own adventure along the side, on the outside, which movies you put there. And I have somewhere decided I want to do 2 rows of movies. But we'll see when I actually get around to stitching that part. I'm still doing the middle. And it is done on a 28 count even weave 2/1 full cross, because this will be backstitched and whatnot, so I'm doing it as called for in the pattern. I started this on the 21st of August, and this is what it looks like so far. So this is the middle, no backstitching yet. Yep, that's what I have done. And like I said, I haven't worked on it at all this year. I'll get to it eventually. The last pattern I started last year was, well, technically it's still this year's, but this year's Stitch Along. It was released early. And this is what it'll look like finished. This is titled Jelly World. It is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. The designer is L&L Designs. It's AI artwork. This is what it looked like at the beginning of the year. I have worked on it quite a bit and then stopped working on it. It is done on a 22.5 count Hardinger blue fabric. This pattern is 282 stitches tall by 320 stitches wide. It is a grand total of 90,240 stitches. I'm doing this 2/1 half cross. There are hanging threads. I can't pull them really in any direction or it'll be in the way of something. But yeah, I'll show you what I have done so far. I don't even have a full page finish. I haven't even gone all the way over because there's like a partial page here that I haven't even started on. But you can see where like the big jellyfish is coming in, jellyfish in the background. It's all just jellyfishes, which is why I love it, and it's colorful. But yeah, this is what I have so far. The wonderful Suzanne has again converted this for me, so I now have it in Saga. I have the full pattern in Saga, so I can just stitch wherever I want to go, which was what was annoying me with the SAL. I could only do like small sections, and that just doesn't really fit my stitching style. I want to go anywhere and everywhere in a pattern, depending on what is close to the stitch or the color that I'm stitching on. So that really annoyed me with this, and that's why I stopped after part 2 was released. It annoyed me. Okay, Buttercup, or rather, okay, so buckle up, Buttercup. We have a lot of starts this year. It has very obviously been a year of starts for me. This is how many project cards I have for this year. It's a lot. So let's get started. So first, living in this very Japanese bag, we have, it is called Mermaids. It is not your typical mermaid. The piece is called Mermaids. It is charted by Egor Kravtsov and Michelle Alexandrova, or Rugo. I am doing this on a 28 count linen called Star Sapphire from DMC, and I'm doing this as charted, so there are 2/1 full cross, 1/1 full cross, 2/2 full cross, 1/2 full cross, half stitch in 1 and 2 strands, there's back stitching, all that. This is what it'll look like when finished, and this is a restart, so there is no before picture, because I had messed up on the last one and I couldn't figure out what I had done wrong. So I restarted it on the 6th of January 2025, and I'm so happy with my progress. I've done a lot on this. It's a lot of fun working on it. I can't tell you why these particular types of patterns are fun with the different threads, but not dimensions. I just can't do dimensions, but I love this type, and Saga makes it easy. So this is 163 stitches tall by 110 stitches wide. I restarted this on the 6th of January 2025, and I have not remembered to check Saga for the total stitch number, so something. But this is what I have done so far, and it looks amazing. Love this. I want to work on it again. We'll see when I get back to that. Next, we have a stamped cross stitch kit. I will not recommend this to anyone. I dub it Enchanted Forest. Let me take this out of the hoop so I can show you everything I've done so far. It's not entirely easy to stitch because some of the symbols aren't easy to see and read, unlike other stamped kits that I have. That's why I don't recommend this one. It's AI generated art. This is what it'll look like when finished. And this is what it looked like at the beginning of the year. And I have worked on it a bit this year. Wait, I started it this year. Why would I have a starting photo? I don't even have it in my first WIP Parade. So no, I won't have a starting photo because this was a new start this year. So this is what I have done so far. Let me get behind it a bit. Okay. So I've worked down here. I'm not doing the background, it's all white anyway. Done some of the background up here. And just started working my way down, keeping to this side and going to move down and over. Yeah, coming along. I've digitized the pattern, so I work on it digitally. Still doesn't mean I know off the top of my head how much progress I have, but I do know that without the background, this pattern is 214 stitches wide by 214 stitches tall, and it is a total of 34,328 stitches in it. So next we have Beachcomber. I've worked on this quite a bit in December. This is what it'll look like finished, and it is from Carolyn Manning Designs. It is done on 25.5 count Hardanger fabric in like a beige colorway. I don't have the colorway names, so beige is what we're going for. It is 189 by 189 stitches, and that gives you a total of 35,721 stitches. I started this on the 17th of April for temperature stitching, which I'm not doing. And this is what I have so far. I worked on it in December because I felt like it, and I have finished, I've completed like this light beigey color. It's DMC number 5. And I have completed that all the way around. I've mapped out all the individual like quilt squares and all that. So now I can go wherever I want. The next color I have to do is 632, which is a dark brown. That goes a lot into these. It goes with this beige quite a bit. So continue doing that color by color, filling it in that way. It was quite fun actually, going like filling it in and then having a color complete. Like next we have Words to Live by Tiny Modernist. This is what it'll look like finished, except for mine won't have like those swirly bits on the side because that won't fit. It's living in my Hadestown tote from when I went to see the musical in London. And this was started for temperature stitching again. And it was started on the 22nd of April on 28 count black even weave. And this is what we have so far. So this is the middle piece, and I mapped out to try and make sure I would be able to fit this. So this is like the, and this is all the margin I have left. And I still need to do like the 3 stitches over bit and then go up. So this won't fit because there's like a swirly border around after that, and that won't fit. So I will be stitching on some extra fabric to this side. I think I measured, and this side should be more okay. But I very obviously really missed the mark on finding the middle of this fabric. And yeah, so I'll add more like black fabric, not like even weave, but black fabric in general on the side so I can fit it into a hoop. And keep going, just not do the swirly border on the outside. This was a SAL at some point. It is finished from many years ago. And again, this was for temperature stitching, started on the 22nd of April. Next, we have Japanese Fabric Sampler number 1. It is done by WIP Cat, is the shop name on Etsy, and the designer behind it is called Annette Schwarzmiller. It is done on, and this is what it'll look like finished. She has 3 of them. And it is done on 28 count white even weave. I'm doing this 2/1 half cross. It is 288 stitches tall by 193 stitches wide. I started this on the 25th of April 2025. That is this bag. And so far, this is, oh, here it is. This is what I've gotten done so far. And I have enough fabric from what I've measured to do all 3 fabric samplers on this side by side. So this is what the next pattern will look like. It is titled Dragon and Roses. The artist and designer behind it is called Irina Baidenko. She is on Instagram. You can purchase her patterns by sending her a DM. She'll send you a link to get to her VK page. Or no, Boosty. Her Boosty shop, where you give her a tip of a certain amount and then she'll send you the pattern, both in PDF and Saga form. I'm working in the Saga format, thank God. I have also, again for this one, forgotten to write down the dimensions and stitch count. Saga does track everything and there's a lot of backstitch in this. But it looks amazing. It's done on 32 count opalescent even weave, hand dyed by Coffee Craft Fabrics. And I'm doing this as charted. So far, I've only come across 2/2 full cross and 1/, however many, but it's 1 stranded backstitch. And this lives in my Miracle Sound tote bag from when I went to that concert. And okay. Oh, okay, sure. So this is what I have so far. You can see the eye coming in and the scales look amazing. There are blends to this, and I almost have, so I know where the second eye goes in, so I can carry this red over to that. It looks amazing. And I have enough fabric for a second pattern, whatever that may be, on this. Next, we have Fae Cottage, part of the so-called Emerald series. It is charted by Tilton Crafts, and the artist is Wild Daisy 123. It's done on 28 count green even weave that I have hand dyed myself to 250 by 250. Again, not full coverage, or it's charted as full coverage, but I'm not doing it full coverage. I started this on the 5th of May, 2025. This is what it'll look like finished, except not the white background. That'll be fabric for me. And this is done 2/1 half cross. And I had to restart it, or practically restart it at one point because I had done such a huge error in one of the colors that put a lot of the other ones off. But this is, oh, I have so many working threads. Okay, I should get back to this. I'm getting, anyway, this is what I have so far. Here, I'll do it like that. Okay. So you can see where part of the house is coming in here. I think this is maybe like a front door. And then you see more of the roof coming in here. Maybe more of the building there. A lot of colors, but it looks great like this. It looks amazing. Yep. This is titled Rebel. This is what it'll look like finished. The artist behind this is Karen Hallion. I know she gets some help turning it into a cross stitch pattern. I don't know who that is, but it's in Karen Hallion's own Etsy shop, so you can buy it from her. It's done on 25 count even weave, non-gridded. The black I've decided to do full cross, 2/1 full cross, just to give it that extra visual oomph, and everything else is 2/1 half cross. And this is 82 stitches tall by 63 stitches wide, giving a total of 5,166 stitches. Started on the 7th of May. This is what I have so far. It shouldn't be too hard to knock this out of the park, but yeah. Well, this is what I have so far. Next, we have February from the Cricut collection. This is what it'll look like finished. And this is done on 40 count even weave, hand dyed by Coffee Craft Fabrics. This was started on the 10th of May. And I have finished so the first R is finished, and I've started on the B, and the first R is completely done, backstitch and everything. This is what I have so far. Not a whole lot. There we go. See? I won't have it done in time for next February, but oh well. So next pattern I started on the 12th of May, 2025. It is called Flute Player. It's from Design Works, and I will show you. Okay, so put the pattern back. I'm currently working on digitizing the pattern in an app called Stitchly, but this is what the kit suggested she look like on white Ada. I have swapped out the fabric. So this is now done on a 32 count even weave from Coffee Craft Fabrics. And I've had to so this was the floss card and it was completely blank. So I had to like go through and figure out, like write all the colors that these are on the floss card. So because when I'm digitizing, it doesn't say like what color it is, it says the DMC number. So I had to give it the DMC number. And again, this is a bit of a pitiful start. But this is what I have. It's part of her sash. Yeah. That's it. That's all there is. It'll be done on this great, like, very, like, purpley mottled fabric. It'll look great. Megan helped me pick this out. I told her I didn't want to use the Ada provided, and together she helped me pick out this fabric that would work. So that's what we're doing. And this lives in a bag from Stitch-A-Majig. She does great bags. The inside is embroidered, but I can't show you that without showing the pattern. Like, as you can see, great bag, worth every penny. So this is a custom printed kit I got from Dream Stitch of a coloring, like a digital coloring book page. And this is the image they produced. No backstitch. And it is done on 16 count white Ada. It is 268 stitches by 170 stitches. A total of 45,560 stitches, started on the 23rd of May. And I'm doing this 2/1 full cross. And this is what it looks like so far. And yeah. Next is a stamp kit that I'm doing as a SAL with Nessa at Cross Stitching with Nessa. I think her channel name is. I'll link her down below. She showed it as a start on her Flosstube, and I loved how that was looking, and I had it in my stash, so I started it, and now we're stitching it together. And she's a bit further along than me on the top, so I need to get my butt into gear and work on it. But I haven't worked on it this month, despite having had plans to do so. But this is what it'll look like finished, sort of. Here's what I have done so far. And this uses rayon threads, so it's quite shiny. It'll probably be even more shiny once I have washed it and gotten all the wax out. Yeah, I'm working color by color along the top, getting that finished, and then moving along. Hopefully soon I'll be able to get a really good chunk of this top part done so I can roll this. Get some more different things done. Lives on scroll rods, lent to me again by the amazing Suzanne. Hi, Suzanne. And hi, Alex, if you're watching this. Hi. So, and that kit is done 3/1 full cross on 11 count Ada. Great printing on that as well. So this is a test stitch that I'm doing for SAL and it is titled Wolf with Glasses. The shop is SAL on Etsy. It is done a 28 count opalescent even weave. I think this one is the SUM colorway from Tom and Lily Creations. And yep, 28 count. Started the 1st of August 2025. The pattern is 184 stitches tall by 128 stitches wide, giving a total of 16,483 stitches. And this is what I have so far. I've reached all the way. All the way to the side here, working my way to the bottom, filling everything in, and just moving this way. So this is the glasses on the other side. And the needle minder here is from Cross Stitch Bunny. This will be a finish next year. I have one other pattern from her to stitch. A lion with glasses. That'll be done on a different fabric, but opalescent that as well. Yeah. Anyway, next we have the Apiary from Hade. This is what it looked like finished. Charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. The artist is Kim Jacobs, and Suzanne made me start this because she showed me this super cute pattern. And it is a SAL from along with Slow Stitch with Yogi. I unfortunately don't get to catch a lot of her streams as family time is the same time she streams. So, but it's done in 32 count white even weave 1/1 half cross. Yeah, and I don't have a lot done on this. I need a magnifier to see it properly because the stitches are so tiny. Okay, and I had to grid this in order to see what I needed to do. Come on, will you focus? Focus. Ah! So this is like the middle of the pattern. You probably can't see it a lot. It won't focus. So this is like a top of a pot, and here you have some candles hanging down in a shed. Okay, so then we have the Deadly Aquarium pattern, where I'm redoing the frame of the aquarium to be in shades of gold. Because why not? So it is done. This is what it'll look like, or what the designer had intended for it to look like when finished. It's done in a 28 count linen from Coffee Craft Fabrics. It's amazing fabric. I love this. And this, okay, so I do have this in Saga, and it is 166 stitches tall, 230 stitches wide, for a grand total, including backstitch, it is 41,135 stitches. Started on the 28th of September 2025 at this year's Essex Needles Retreat, September needle version. This is what I have so far, and it is so sparkly. And it looks amazing. Love it. Need to get back to it at some point, but I need to get back to all my patterns at some point. We're getting close. So, so I do have one pattern that I have started. It is, however, a secret start that will not be revealed until it is finished, fully finished, and shipped off and received by its recipient. So keep a lookout in your mail eventually, Dobby. This is a stitch for her. Go check her out. Her channel name is Covered in Floss. On Instagram, it is Unapologetically Dobby. We met at the Essex Needles Retreat, and she was showing how she got all like these crazy bird patterns. And I have had this pattern like in my favorites, and I've been wanting to stitch it forever, but it wouldn't suit anywhere here. So I figured, oh, because of what she wants to do with her wall, or one of them, I figured I could do this pattern for her, and then I would have been able to actually make this pattern, and she has something to put on her wall. And she can kind of know what it is from that description. But I won't show it to you just yet. It is only 4,018 stitches in total. I have it in Saga, and there's so much backstitch. But yeah. And the last thing I have to show you that I started this year in December, like the 7th of December, I think it was, on 16 count Ada. From Painting Fairy is this. So Starry Night, bright color version. Love it. The printing is super, super clear. It's so easy to work on, but it is a biggie. It's 350 by 350, giving a total of 122,500 stitches. But it was kind of like my birthday start, and also the last start of the year, and hopefully for a very long while. I'm working up, I'm trying to do this like sort of in a method where I do square by square, but like in a diagonal. And this is what I have done so far. So this square is only, so this one and this one, all I have left is pretty much the 939. And then there are like some stragglers here that I need to finish. But other than that, only 939. And then I have a good few squares started on this. Okay, so I've done some math. And stats for 2025, as far as I can count, stitch-wise. I have stitched 76,685 stitches. I do have stamp kits. I can't count them in their entirety, so it's somewhere around there, maybe around 80,000 in total. Something like that. I don't know. But at least 76,685 stitches. That's awesome. I have had 24 starts so far, or I have had 24 starts in 2025. I have had 6 finishes for the year. I have also counted all my current active projects, and I have 32. There is one project I have decided to UFO. I have gone through my WIPs, and I want to tentatively give myself 3 finish goals for next year that I think are possible. One of them is Wolf with Glasses. That is a must finish. I don't want it to continue on more than a year. I want it finished as soon as possible. It is, after all, a test stitch as well, and I do have one more to do, so I need this finished as soon as possible. So that's the first one. The second WIP I would very much like to finish, and I also think is quite possible, is Beachcomber, this pattern. I think it's quite possible. It goes very fast, and now that I have every square gridded, it goes a lot easier. I don't have to count as much. I don't miscount, so it's quite easy, and I think that is a finish I should be able to get done. And the last project that I would very much like to have finished next year is my stamped kit that I call Enchanted Forest. As a reminder, this is what it will look like, or what the artwork is anyway. And those are the only goals I want to set myself. I don't want to do this many stitches on every project, get this much % done on every project, or this project or that project. I want as few goals as possible, but goals that I think are realistic. And in my current mood, I think these goals are very, very realistic and quite doable. So those are my only goals, and we'll see when I finish them. It's not an if, it's when. When I finish them. So lastly, let me show you next year's journal to help keep myself in check and not forget things I need to get done. So I have this journal from Archer and Olive. I decided to splurge and get the B5 Archer and Olive journal. It's amazing. It's great quality. I love this journal so much already. Let me just show you my setup so far, and yeah. So on my title page, look at the inside on this gilding. So I've yet to put my name in, but I have some washi tapes to decorate, and I have put in a pocket, and in this pocket I have my Formula 1 Stitchy Game rolls. And this year I have 3 drivers I'll be following. Carlos Sainz from Williams, Valtteri Bottas from Cadillac, and Sergio Perez, also Cadillac. So apparently I will very much be cheering for Cadillac next year. But I like those drivers for various reasons. And then moving on from that, we have 2026. I have 2 months at a time planned out on each page. So January, February, March, April. And then I have Dutch doors for May, June, July, August, and September, October, and then we finish with November and December. And all of our so-called red days are marked out, the Sundays, and then extra days in the week where we are off here in Sweden. Then we have starts and finishes. Hopefully there won't be too many starts. But I decided to do the headers as like cross stitch because that's what these are for. And there will be 3 at least on my finishes page. Goals. Then to try and help me get better with my economy, I have dubbed this page Dragon Hoard, where I will track how much money I save. And instead of just buying the things, oh, I want that, I have decided to write them down on a wish list. And some of these things I've put prices next to, like I need some more project cards. I don't have very many left that are unused. So I've written down what they cost, but they're not a priority right now. So I need a new watch because mine, the battery life isn't very good anymore. To learn lettering, some Tombow brush pens. The pens I have are old and you can start to tell now. So yeah, so those are the things I'd like. Ooh. And eventually I'd like my saving to be able to maybe get like a Lowry or something, some type of stand for both hoops and scroll rods, so I can stitch in my stitchy chair comfortably, because I notice when I have to hold the hoop in my hand, it starts to hurt after a while. So but I'm looking into that. So far I have not found a solution that works for me, so maybe a Lowry or maybe something else, we'll see. And then books read, just to fill in books one by one, color them in, and then write down here what it is, the title of the book, the author, and if I want to, I have plenty of space for like amount of stars I want to give a book if I want to. Then we head into January. So this is my page, and I will write down at the end of the month the most memorable thing that happened that month. And I have a quote up here from Q, Star Trek, where he says, "If you can't take a little bloody nose, maybe you ought to go back home and crawl under your bed. It's not safe out here. It's wondrous, with treasures to satiate desires both subtle and gross, but it's not for the timid," which is true. And on this side, I have a calendar of the month and room for this month's photo. So whatever photo I take during the month that I really, really like, or is most funny, or whatever it is, I can print it out and put it on this page and keep it as a keepsake. Then I have my calendar. I won't be doing this again, using the middle. That was a bit of annoying to use. Started planning out things for the month, writing them in that I need to remember, things that are happening and whatnot. I have vacation, week 2, so that'll be good. Then I have a page here, because there's no Formula 1, this will be left for a monthly review where I can put in all the media I've consumed, like movies, books, TV shows, whatever. All that sort of thing. I really like that idea when I saw it online, so that's what I plan to put there. Then for my 500 stitch rotation, my focus whips of January, I've decided to only use 3 to rotate more often and hopefully get more done on each piece. And the theme of January is golden oldies. So I have 3 of my oldest patterns as a focus whip: Kakomu, Gone to Pieces, and Dark Queen of the Earth. So these are my 3 oldest patterns, and I want to get them worked on and as close to a finish as possible, of course. This will be following me throughout the year. This is also one of the pieces I currently really want finished, but it kind of depends on the silk floss, what I can get available to me to make this happen. yeah, so we'll see how that works out. Because this needs silk and these two at the bottom need silks, so we'll see. That's why it's not a focus, like, or a goal focus finish, but we'll see what the year brings. My weekly spreads. So this is the first week of January. And this is the second week. I have this week off. Then weeks after, so I have Monday and Tuesday off as well. And then I have to go and work up in the mountain airport, SAL I'm. And then we have week after, I haven't gotten that far to plan yet. Last week of January, and also where I can write my notes for Flosstube number 13. So that is so far in my journal. And with that, Flosstube number 13 will be up on February 1st. And until then, I will see you later. Bye!